Hey everyone, Reverend Dr. Katie here. I am really happy to be live with you because we have a celestial event that starts this week, and I want to give you a little information about it, as well as kind of checking your energy about how to prepare and how to be in the energy of the celestial event. So what is the celestial event, you ask? It is Mercury Retrograde. Mercury Retrograde kind of gets a bad rap. And I know I jokingly posted in our Facebook group last week, it starts on April 21st. You are hereby forewarned. And there is some truth to that because a lot of people experience Mercury Retrograde as a time when they're kind of out of sorts and communication is off, and all of that can happen. But there were also a lot of comments about, I'm going to hide under a rug. I can't believe this is happening. Woe is me. That energy doesn't help. So this is a little video to get you on the right vibe to experience what is going to be happening. And this begins April 21st. This Mercury retrograde is April 21st. So what is Mercury retrograde? We all know that the planet Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Mercury retrograde is when Mercury appears to move backwards, retro, from its normal orbit. It's not really moving backwards. It's just the way it appears from our vantage point and where Mercury is, where Earth is, in comparison to the sun. I couldn't tell you the science of it. Y'all can look that up. So Mercury retrograde is a time, again, when it appears to be going the wrong way. Mercury was the Roman god of communication, the little wings on his feet, like the Roman counterpart to Hermes. And so what a lot of people experience during Mercury retrograde is communication seems a little funky. It seems a little wonky. Your electronics may not work as well as they usually do. You may have a hard time expressing yourself. It's a time when contracts just need to be kind of carefully considered. So it's a period where we don't want to rush into things. Instead, we kind of have the opportunity to withdraw and to deeply consider. It doesn't mean that you can't sign any contracts during that time. It means that you need to trust your intuition and really to hone and develop that particular part of yourself. So you all see the sign, the sign right behind me that says, trust your intuition. So this is a perfect time. Mercury retrograde is a perfect time to hone that skill and to really test it. You can have some fun. You could get out pendulums. You could do some muscle testing. You could really learn to trust your intuition during Mercury retrograde. So those of you who think of energy in terms of yin or yang, Mercury retrograde is a great time for that yin energy, self-reflective, contemplative. We go inside, we do some meditation, we really consider all of our possibilities. Someone in the group, thank you, you know who you are, suggested last week that Mercury retrograde is a wonderful time to finish all of those unfinished projects. I could not agree more. All the things that are lingering, you can energetically kind of close that loop and get those complete because you're really going within and you're finalizing things. It is not a time for panic. It's not a time for hiding underneath rocks. And everyone is going to experience this energy a little bit differently. So, for those of us who are Jesus followers and we happen to be in the Easter season, it's going to feel like a contrast of energies because the Easter season is a lot about obviously about the resurrection, but it's a lot of outward energy, and we're experiencing that gigantic spring energy and things are in bloom. And Mercury retrograde invites us into that interior energy, that kind of prayerful energy. So you have an opportunity here to experience some of those contrasts and maybe kind of be playful with them. Now, how strongly you experience Mercury retrograde depends entirely on just your kind of chemical makeup, but also on your particular natal chart, your particular zodiac sign and chart. 2 Mercury retrogrades ago, I really experienced the energy. I mean, I couldn't turn a page without the book falling over. I had to really kind of measure twice, cut once through the whole 3-week period. Other people didn't experience it that way, but that had to do with me being an Aquarius at the time and what my rising sign is, and my ascendant, all of that, my moon sign, all of that. So I can't tell you exactly how you're going to experience the energy. You're going to have to do a little bit of that research yourself. This is stuff you can Google and do some of the fun research on your own. Now, if you had told me, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago that Mercury retrograde was a thing beyond making a joke in a sitcom, I would not have believed you. But now that I'm so sensitive to energy, I have experienced it firsthand and I know how real it is. So 2 Mercury retrogrades ago, It was, like I said, it was really intense. The last one we had just a couple months ago, I really barely noticed it. I was kind of mindful of it, but it didn't super impact me. I've also seen some comments here and there, even in the group, that we need to just ignore this. This isn't a thing. Your energy determines everything. So what I'm suggesting is not that Mercury retrograde is not a thing. I think that's not quite the way to think about it. But that your energy, you can decide ahead of time how you're going to respond to the changing energies. You can choose to see it as a nuisance, fair enough. You can choose to see it as a curse. I think that's probably misguided. Or you can choose to see it as a blessing, an opportunity to do something a little bit different, to slow down, to take the time. And for Christians, that interior life, the interior opportunity for reflection is really what it's all about. That's where our integration happens. So you may choose Mercury retrograde as a time when you really focus on your spiritual journey, when you focus on your metaphysical life, when you decide you're going to take the next steps, or you decide you are going to hone your intuition, where you really start the meditations and the journeys and you get okay with being metaphysical and being a Jesus follower. How amazing would that be? So I'm going to be here with you to shepherd you through this whole process. We have 3 Mercury retrogrades every single year. They come like clockwork. They each last 3 weeks. There's a week before, that's where we're in right now, that the energy begins, and then there's a week of fading at the very end. And so this is your survival guide for Mercury retrograde. Take a deep breath, cut twice, measure once, finish unfinished projects, and most of all, go inside. See what needs completing in your interior life. What are the things that need completing in your soul? And begin that process. All right, everyone. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, just post them below. You can tag me and I will see them and respond. All right, talk to you soon.